I'm Chantal Fiebig, co-managing partner of Weil's Washington, D.C. office, and I'm thrilled to be here today with my new partner, Eric Namro, the renowned ITC litigator who has just joined the firm as global chair of our ITC and cross-border IP enforcement practice here in our Washington, D.C. office. I'm delighted to welcome you to the firm, Eric.
Thanks, Chantal. It's great to be here, and it's even better to be at Weil.
Could you describe your practice and how the ITC fits into the overall legal landscape?
Sure, be happy to. I've been litigating IP cases for close to 30 years now. My practice is focused on IP litigation in the International Trade Commission. I've now handled about 125 ITC investigations and taken 45 of them to trial through to a verdict. The ITC is actually an old government agency, and it has a lot of responsibilities, but one of its primary functions is to adjudicate the importation of goods into the United States that are accused of some sort of IP infringement. Now, typically that means patent infringement or copyright infringement or trademark infringement. But in the last decades, ITC jurisdiction has expanded, and we see cases running the whole panoply of causes of action. So we have cases involving misappropriation of trade secrets, Lanham Act cases, false advertising cases, just to name a few.
You know, before joining Weil, you already had a successful career. Could you comment on why you've joined Weil now?
Sure, be happy to. I'd say number one is what an opportunity. What a terrific opportunity here, Chantal. Weil has a platform of the most sophisticated clients with really complex, for us, interesting problems in every area of complex technology. And I saw the Weil as a wonderful opportunity to expand, to mold my practice and to take on the challenge of building out that practice. I see my practice, and frankly, that of the other IP litigators who've joined Weil very recently, as meshing just brilliantly with other practices in the firm. I like to look at my practice and clients with whom I work as meshing holistically within the firm. I don't want to be just the lawyer for a company. I want our firm to be the lawyer for the companies. And then I think the last piece I would add to just that briefly is the culture. Boy, from the moment I started talking to people, quite literally, the first time I started talking to people, the collaborative nature. Pronouns matter. The word we was being used all the time in terms of client development, hunting in packs, working together, working collaboratively, working as a team. These are phrases that we often use almost tritely, and it means something here.
Can you comment on topics that you think today should be top of mind for your clients in your practice?
I would say, first and foremost, the ITC remains a very busy, very robust place for IP work. In 2024, there was more than 40% cases filed than 2023. These are large cases. They sometimes name dozens of respondents in them, and they matter a lot for our clients. The second thing I would say is that there are a number of recent decisions that have affected jurisdiction and I think will expand ITC jurisdiction enormously. That it's going to mean more and more companies are going to get access to the ITC. Why does that matter? Because there is no jurisdiction in the United States for IP disputes that can get you more leverage, that can monetize your IP better, that can get large companies waking up and very concerned than the ITC. And so when more companies get into it, it means there are going to be more of these lawsuits being filed, and whether they're settlements or whether they're cases that go all the way through to trial, it's going to remain at the fore for companies going forward for the next decades to come. I'm quite certain.
Thank you so much for talking with us today about your practice. I'm just delighted to welcome you to Weil, and I'm so excited to be your partner as we work together towards the future.
Chantal, thank you very much. I just like to add I couldn't be happier to be here. I've felt welcome from the moment I stepped here, and I'm just thrilled to be practicing with you and with the rest of the lawyers here.
Thank you, Eric.